Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, honoured guests, please be upstanding for the Worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Masood Ahmed.
Could I please have nominations for Mayor Councillor Anthony Smith?
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Masood, and his consort, the Mayoress, for the wonderful work over the course of the year, promoting our district and raising money for his charity. Thank you. It's my pleasure and privilege to propose Councillor Cahal Burke for the honour of becoming the Mayor of Kirklees for this municipal year. I first met Carl some years back ago at a Liberal Democrat residential training weekend, and we immediately hit it off. His energy and enthusiasm was immediately apparent and was infectious. And it quickly became clear that we had a great deal more in common than our shared values. This culminated in our joint plot to discreetly excuse ourselves from the planned after-dinner entertainment, a succession of after-dinner talks from a guest speaker in favour of finding a nearby sports bar to watch television and the title boxing fight. And there, a lasting friendship was born that would lead eventually to me becoming a fellow ward councillor in our mutual home of Lindley. Councillor Burke, Cahal, is the epitome of a public servant and a politician who aspires to office for all the right reasons. Having studied computing at the University of Huddersfield, Cahal went on to complete teacher training before working at several local colleges and schools, making Lindley his home, and it is there that he spent the majority of his adult life working and raising his two children, Sinead and Annie, and embedded in his local community. It is in Lindley that he has forged his reputation as a people's champion and a pillar of our community. Cahal has been instrumental in the formation of Lindley Community Group, which he currently chairs, and has been involved with for over 15 years. Under his stewardship, the group has been responsible for the creation and maintenance of the Lindley Community and Memorial Garden, taking on responsibility for the iconic Lindley Clock Tower and arranging regular open days, Lindley's award-winning Big Weekend of events, which takes place annually on the last weekend of June and includes a street party, carnival, junior run and the Lindley 10K. And this year we are celebrating anniversaries of 15 years for the carnival and 10 years for the 10K. Also Lindley Christmas Evening, Huddersfield Youth Festival. Carl was instrumental in setting up the Lindley Running Club, and a whole host of other things in our community that have provided countless opportunities for people in our community to volunteer and get involved, and a host of community-led activities and initiatives across the area. It's Carl's voluntary work that ultimately led him to stand for election as a local councillor. The primary driver not being political ambition, but as a vehicle to help more people and make a real difference in his own neighbourhood. And what a difference he has made. Cahal is truly an outstanding councillor. Tenacious, hard-working and energetic. Approaching his 14th year in office, he has a record of achievement for residents that is second to none. It really is no exaggeration to say that in the Lindley ward, everyone knows someone who has been helped by Councillor Cahal Burke. He really is Mr. Lindley. There is nowhere we can go where he's not recognised, and he always has time for a chat. Carl is also a great supporter and promoter of our local businesses, which contribute so much to our local communities. Cahal's background in teaching gives him a particular insight into the needs and aspirations of young people in our area. And therefore, when presented with the opportunity to sit as a leading member on the Children's Scrutiny Panel for Kirklees Council, Cahal had no hesitation in stepping up and contributing, making a real and positive difference to the direction of the Council's children's services over many years. He also served on the Planning and Licensing Committees. He's been Deputy Leader of the Kirklees Liberal Democrat Group and proved, when required, to be a willing and positive contributor on any cross-party issues, putting party politics aside for the benefits of residents. I have no doubt that Carl will bring the same enthusiasm and focus that he displays in his role as a Lindley Ward Councillor and across the wider council to the role of Mayor. And I know how proud he is that his daughter Sinead will be by his side as Mayoress. Through his council work and year as Deputy Mayor, Carl has proven himself to be an outstanding public servant and will be an exemplary ambassador for our district. I am delighted to have him as a colleague and as a friend, and to propose him for the great honour of becoming Mayor of Kirklees. I move that Councillor Cahal Burke is hereby elected Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the municipal year from now until his successor accepts office and signs the required declaration.
Could I please call on Councillor John Lawson to second the nomination?
Thank you, Mayor. That's a long walk. Welcome to Deputy Lord Lieutenant, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. I rise to second Cahal Burke as Mayor, something that gives me great pleasure and enormous pride. Before I do that, I'd like to add my thanks to the outgoing Mayor and Mayoress, Councillor Masood Ahmed and his daughter Iram, for all their hard work this year. I think only former mayors can understand the workloads that you've managed to achieve and the difference you can make in just 12 short months. Your patience and forbearing while chairing council did much to calm heated debates and bring meetings back on track. I hope that you get time for a well-earned rest before taking up regular duties again. Thank you. Cahal and I got elected to council at the same time and have shared the ups and downs of the Kirklees story for the past 14 years. During that time, I have watched him develop as a councillor, as he has me. And his journey has naturally taken him to this day. I say naturally because when the role became available to the Liberal Democrat group and Cahal expressed an interest, everybody just kind of looked at each other and went, well, yeah. I would have said obvs, but my sons would never let me live that down. And I say naturally because some people grow into this role and make it their own through their time as deputy. Others, like Cahal, are a natural. Popular in his home ward of Lindley and being returned for the 4th time last year, he's a people person, totally at ease when representing his group, his party, his ward, or now being an ambassador for the borough. There's something that hasn't changed in Cahal over the years. He is driven to serve his community. He was before he was a councillor as a volunteer, and I suspect he will after he retires. He's just built that way. From his roles in council, like his time on children's scrutiny, to his charity fundraising, to helping look after Lindley's iconic clock tower, we know him as somebody committed to the people of the borough. During the difficult, worrying times of lockdown, Cahill showed the same drive, together with the Lindley Community Group, in repurposing that organisation to help those who were struggling, but as importantly, to give direction to those who needed purpose. The people of Kirklees then can expect a hard-working, energetic mayor. They can also expect to be photographed with him, a lot. I fully expect him to appear in photographs with at least half the population of the borough by the year end. He's done it in his ward, and it's time for a bigger challenge. Family has always been central to Cahill and his work, and it's wonderful to see those that could be here today with us to celebrate seeing him being made mayor in Kirklees' 50th year. We all share your pride. I also hope to see you later at dinner tonight to get to know you a little better and wangle a couple of stories from you. Over Cahill's time in office, his children, Sinead and Annie, have been in and out of group meetings, photo ops and celebrations, and we watched them grow up in a sort of time-lapse way. So it's absolutely wonderful to see Sinead accept the role of mayoress for this municipal year, an exceptional young woman with a bright future ahead of her, and I'm sure she'll bring the same energy to the position with a fresh, uncouncillor-like eyes and a keen enthusiasm. I'm sure Cahill will talk to his great choice of charities, but just to say that the Royal Air Force Association Huddersfield and Calderdale and Huddersfield NH Trust Charity will have a strong supporter in Mayor Burke, and I'm sure we'll all be willingly put to work in their name and the fantastic work they do over the coming year. Just one ask, if you can leave it a couple of weeks before any sponsored walks, Cahill, we'd all be very grateful. I've talked about the more public-facing role of mayor. There is, of course, another main duty of a Kirklees mayor, and that's to chair full council meetings. There looks to be a difficult year coming up in council, with lots of work to get through in as professional and as proficient way as possible. We've had a flavour of our new mayor as chair when he has deputised, and I think we can all have confidence that impartiality and fairness will be upheld, with just a dash of dry wit to help the medicine go down. Before I read out the legals, I just want to wish Cahill and Sinead our warmest congratulations, our support for the coming year, and our hope that it's a thoroughly enjoyable one. I move that Councillor Cahill Burke is hereby elected Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the municipal year from now until his successor accepts office and signs the required declaration. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Sit down. Are there any further nominations? No. All those in favour? Thus carried. Thank you.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the council, honoured guests, while the mayor dons the robes of office, entertainment will be provided by Lindley Junior School Choir. Please be upstanding while the mayor retires. Deputy Lieutenant, members of the council, honoured guests, please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees.
I would now like to invite Councillor Burke to make the declaration of office and sign the declaration book.
I, having been elected to the office of Mayor for the Council of the Borough of Kirklees, hereby declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Council of the Borough of Kirklees.
The retiring Mayor will now place the chain of office on the new Mayor of Kirklees.
Deputy Lieutenant, honoured guests, please be seated. I am pleased to announce that my daughter Sinead has agreed to be my Mayoress for the coming year.
The retiring Mayoress will now place the chain of office on the new Mayoress of Kirklees.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of Council, Consul General, distinguished guests, family and friends. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to express my thanks to the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Masood Ahmed. I've known Councillor Ahmed for a number of years. We've served on a number of committees together, most recently the Police and Crime Panel. We also watch Huddersfield Town together. So it was a great year for me to be able to have the opportunity to assist him in his year as Mayor. I've never met such a more friendly and helpful and hard-working councillor, and he has been a fantastic Mayor. During his year as Mayor, he has had the opportunity to watch Huddersfield Giants in the Challenge Cup final, and although it didn't go our way, it was a very close game against Wigan, and it was a great occasion. Also going to Wembley to watch Huddersfield Town in the playoff final, and although we were robbed against Forest, it was another great occasion, both of which raised the profile of our town and our sporting achievements. We had the wonderful events surrounding the Platinum Jubilee, and then the sad passing of the Queen, the proclamation, and most recently the King's coronation events. I must remember at this time the very sad personal loss of Councillor Ahmed's father. I'm so thankful that your father shared your special day with you, and was so very proud of everything that you achieved. Councillor Ahmed had an eventful year and gave everything to the role. I'm sure you'll all agree with me that he's had a fantastic year and done us all very proud. Today is a very special day for me and my family, and I'd like to give my heartfelt thanks to everyone here today for sharing it with me, and for those who will also be attending the civic dinner this evening. On past events, I've often sat where you are on the floor and listened to the different stories from the mayors, and often thought it's very interesting because you get to know them a little bit more than you usually do, sat across at a meeting or when you're out and about. Now, I don't have a sad story to tell about my upbringing or life. I never got everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed. I grew up surrounded by loving family and extended family. Always family visiting, and trips to the airport were commonplace, visiting uncles, aunts and cousins, many of whom, unfortunately, are sadly no longer with us, and anniversaries occur at this time. I've so much to thank my parents for and the opportunities they provided for me. I'm delighted that they are here today. I was provided with the opportunity of going to boarding school, the same school my father went to, and that was an experience and a privilege for me. My parents loved having me around, but looking back, I also remember that they were happy when they were dropping me back at boarding school. After a half-term break, they were always quick to get off in case there was any hesitation. It was a great opportunity, and I was supported well by my parents and family in the days you would write letters to each other. I appreciate and grateful for the opportunities that were afforded to me. Now, politics and elections were always part of my life, and I remember as a child growing up, going on polling day with my parents when they went to vote. By voting and participating, I knew early on that we were able to express our views to the decision makers about important issues. As a teenager, one of my greatest experiences was getting in to watch a count at election time. I didn't have a pass, and maybe I got in unnoticed. Other friends, similar age, were probably sneaking into other places. But I was delighted to be there and watch the ups and downs of the day as the votes were counted. A lot easier than when you're actually involved. I think we all need to do more to open up the process to younger people and make politics and elections a part of life. I know our Children and Young People's Engagement Officers do a fantastic job with the Democracy Friendly Schools programme and do a great work engaging with young people in our schools. And we need to continue to support the work and ensure it continues so we can increase participation in our democratic process. I enjoyed my time at university, studying computing, as you've heard earlier, and then going on to do my teacher training. I enjoyed the excellent teaching and learning from the best who care about your progression and achievement. I enjoyed the opportunity to undertake professional work experience. I enjoyed a campus that had everything with excellent facilities. It'll be of no surprise then that I went to the University of Huddersfield. I was so lucky and fortunate to have and be at a wonderful university that has done so much for our town through regeneration and raising the profile of our town and district. To complement that, we have fantastic further education colleges and schools in Kirklees. And you heard the choir at my local school, Linley Junior School, just now. I love where I live, and I was honoured and privileged to be elected in Lindley Ward in 2010. Obviously, I'm telling you all this, not knowing what others were going to say about me. In the Lindley Ward, I've served the residents, supporting many projects and events, and been a voice for local people, representing all our residents and all of our communities. I want to thank my family and friends for the support they've given me over the years as a councillor and as Deputy Mayor. I want to thank the Lib Dem group for their support and all groups on the council. I've been fortunate to have worked alongside so many dedicated and hard-working local councillors who share my liberal values and beliefs. As Mayor, I promise to put this on by raising awareness of people, groups and businesses across the borough and raising the profile of what they do, because we've so much to be proud of. It is a special place. Although the wonderful achievements of my predecessor will be a tough act to follow, I nevertheless pledge my energy and effort to achieve another successful year, supporting our civic life, council, and most importantly, all the residents and communities of Kirklees. I've had a wonderful time as Deputy Mayor, supporting the Mayor and meeting some of the fantastic people who do fantastic work in our borough, contributing to their communities. Volunteers play such a significant part in our communities, and we rely and depend on them so much. Supporting our libraries, being part of litter picking groups, organising events, and doing so much more in our communities. We know we don't always have a lorry load of volunteers coming in to assist in our areas, but what we do have are determined, hard-working volunteers doing so much to support our communities, and we need to recognise and support them. It is a great honour and privilege and humbling experience for me to be Mayor, especially as Kirklees celebrates its 50th anniversary next year. During my term of office, I'm looking forward to getting to meet many more community groups, organisations, businesses that make our borough a special place to live, work and visit. I also want to give a special mention to my daughter Sinead. Thank you for agreeing to be my mayoress for the coming year, and not to miss out on Annie, who is my little rock. This year I will be supported by Councillor Nosheen Dad as my Deputy Mayor. I'm looking forward to working together, and I'm sure that we will be a great team and will be a great experience. Councillor Dad is a wonderful ward councillor and has so much to offer. I want to continue to make a difference as your first citizen, and I have chosen to support the Calderdale and Huddersfield NHS Charity and Royal Air Force Association as my charities of the year. The Calderdale and Huddersfield NHS Charity does so much to help and assist in our hospitals and in our community. They have supported family and friends, and I'm grateful for them for the work that they do. Having had family serve in the Royal Air Force, it was a natural choice for me to support the Royal Air Force Association. Again, they are dedicated to helping and supporting veterans and their families in Kirklees, and I thank them for the work that they do. I know that there are so many more charities in our borough, and I would like to champion, so I encourage that you get in touch, as I would be honoured and have a pleasure to work with you and see the great work that you do. I would like to thank my proposer, Councillor Anthony Smith, and Secretary Councillor John Lawson, for your speeches. I would like to congratulate Councillor Smith on his re-election. He is a colleague and a friend, although has differing memories to how events occurred in the past. I would never miss an important event or a guest speaker. Councillor Lawson, as he said, we got elected at the same time in 2010, and we've shared many ups and downs since then, and he's been a fantastic leader for our group. I will have two chaplains for my year as Mayor, and I would like to announce that I will have Reverend Rachel Firth from Huddersfield Parish Church and Father Martin Kelly from St. Patrick's Church as the Mayor's chaplains. Reverend Firth I've known for many, many years, as she was the vicar in Lindley at St. Stephen's, and our children went to the same school. So I've known Reverend Rachel for a long time. Father Martin is the parish priest at my church, and I've known him since he arrived in Huddersfield from Halifax. I appreciate their thoughts, their advice, and their wisdom. I would like to present their medals for the coming year as my chaplains. I'd now like to announce that I've decided to appoint 3 Mayor's cadets to work with me this year, and I'm very grateful to them for taking up this role. For the Army, I'll have Cadet Sergeant Isaac Hartley from Batley Combined Cadet Force, Air, Flight Sergeant Elliot Hawksforth, and for Sea, Able Cadet Brooke McGregor from Huddersfield Sea Cadets, and I would like to invite them up also to receive their badges and certificates. We're nearly done from me. It's very warm. I'm very much looking forward to working with them throughout my term of office, and I appreciate them taking the opportunity to work with me, and I hope you have a fantastic experience and enjoy the year ahead. I would like to thank just a few people for making this day possible. I'd like to thank Linley Junior School for being here, the award-winning junior school choir. They do a fantastic job. They are always performing and doing the very best that they can, performing at local events and national events. So I appreciate the time and effort they put into that from Alison North and all of the team at Linley Junior School. Organist Gordon Stewart, who has been keeping you entertained, the former borough organist, thank you very much, and for keeping some of the pieces I picked as well. Henry and Matilda, thank you for being gift bearers and for your important role today. All of you here and the Civic Office team for the fantastic work that they do, keeping me in line amongst others and making sure that everything works and runs very, very smoothly. So thank you all from the Civic team who do all of the work. A few lines from a poem that I like, The Tower by William Butler Yeats, and then I'll leave you. Never had I more excited, passionate, fantastical imagination, nor an eye, an ear, that more expected the impossible, nor not in boyhood when with rod and fly, or the humbler worm, I climbed Ben Bulben's back and had the lifelong summer day to spend. Can I please call upon Councillor Nosheen Dad to move the vote of thanks to Councillor Masood Ahmed.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, honoured guests, it gives me great pleasure to propose a vote of thanks for Councillor Masood Ahmed for his service to Kirklees in his role as Mayor and the huge amount he has managed to raise for his chosen charity, the Forget-Me-Not Children's Hospice, which no doubt is going to go a long way in providing extremely high standards of care and making a considerable difference to a lot of young people and families. At the beginning of his term as Mayor, you will all be aware Masood sadly and very suddenly lost his father. This was a massive blow for him, and those that were close to him could clearly see how much this had affected him. However, in true Masood Ahmed's spirit and determination, he didn't allow his heartache and anguish come between his civic duties. He went on to represent the borough and its people to the best of his ability for the remainder of his term. He has worked non-stop and attended hundreds of events. Masood is also my ward colleague, and we often joked between ourselves that he probably deals with casework in his sleep, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's attended events in his sleep too this year. If I was asked to describe Masood Ahmed as Mayor, I would describe him as the people's Mayor. He certainly went out of his way to meet people from all walks of life. No engagement was ever too much. He attended as many as 5 events on a normal day, and over the King's coronation weekend, he attended over 20 events. He has been a great mayor for the borough and an absolute inspiration to watch. Future mayors have huge boots to fill, as he really has set the bar high. He embraced the role fully and certainly didn't shy away from taking part in the many activities that came his way this year. At a recent event, he shared how he wanted to visit new places and experience new activities, and he couldn't have been truer to his words. Some of the activities saw him galloping away on an Arabian horse. He even had a stint as a DJ. He played cricket in the town hall corridor, which explains all the redecorating going on today. He even managed to stick his arm inside Daisy the cow. You'll be just as relieved as I was Daisy wasn't a real cow. With that, I'd like to move that the best thanks of the council are due and hereby tendered to Councillor Masood Ahmed for the efficient and dignified manner in which he has performed the important and varied duties of the office of Mayor during the period of May 22 to May 23. Also, that the hearty thanks of the council be tendered to Miss Iram Ahmed for her services as Mayoress. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please call upon Councillor Habiban Zaman to second the vote of thanks to Councillor Masood Ahmed?
Good afternoon, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Mayor, firstly, can I congratulate you on your acceptance of office today. I hope you have a superb year and enjoy every moment in your new role. Before I begin to tell you how our Mayor, Councillor Masood Ahmed, has conducted his duties, it's with great difficulty and emotion that I share the news of losing his late father just days after the formal mayoral ceremony in May 2022. As we all witnessed the Mayor's ceremony last year in Councillor Masood Ahmed's speech when he took office, he doted on his father, who was his rock. His father was so proud of him. It was such a proud moment and absolute honour for him to see his son in the robes taking the first citizen position as his last memories of what his son had achieved. May his soul rest in peace and the Almighty fill his grave with nur and bestow him in the highest ranks of Jannat. Ameen. A year ago, it was a great honour and privilege to second the nomination of Councillor Masood Ahmed as he took office of Mayor of Kirklees, and again today to second the vote of thanks to Masood. I know it's been a hectic year for our Mayor, but it's also been an extraordinary one for him too. From losing his father to then 3 months later, Her Majesty the Queen, then going on to opening the Book of Condolences, to attending memorial events, laying floral tributes and leading the proclamation when the country remained in its official mourning period. All this to comprehend with when you're mourning yourself shows real leadership, dedication, commitment, and the beautiful, selfless and caring character of Masood. Holding his head high and doing what he does best, that is serving the community, and for that I thank him wholeheartedly. As I said last year, Masood likes to stand out from the crowd, while he certainly has from his unique events that have taken place over his mayoral year. This mayoral year has been one he can be proud of, leaving a legacy and sharing some commonality with people from his faith and background. In Kirklees, the mayoral year, we have the first Asian Bishop of Huddersfield, Smitha Pardasan. Then in West Yorkshire, we have the first Asian High Sheriff, Zulfi Karim. Then we have Hamza Yusuf as the First Minister of Scotland, Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister, and then we have our Councillor Masood Ahmed as the first citizen of Kirklees. He has had some exciting experiences whilst undertaking his duties. from visiting his local hairdressers on a daily basis, and I'm sure they're going to be disappointed that he's standing down, from riding dodgems to riding Arabian horses with his chains on, to playing cricket, to cooking with elderly ladies, are just a few to mention. Masood has served the community for over 3 decades, as councillor for 18 years and mayor for the last 12 months. He's always put others first and gone out of his way to ensure he serves them with distinction. In his year of office, which has been a very difficult year for him personally, he has still managed to cover over 300 official engagements, taken everything in his stride to serve the communities of Kirklees. I wholeheartedly thank you, Masood, from the council, the Labour Group and the communities of Kirklees for the amazing job you have undertaken, whilst also raising thousands of pounds for the Forget-Me-Not Children's Hospice, and importantly created a huge bond with the wonderful children and their families around Kirklees. You've done us all proud. I also want to thank Masood's family, in particular his daughter, who took on the role of mayoress. Without their support and backing, he wouldn't have been able to take on this role. I also want to pay particular thanks to his wife Jamila, who in her poor health condition has fulfilled her role in the background and is the real jewel in the crown. She has always been a tower of strength for him and has shown the courage and support in ensuring Masood fulfills his duties. Now, the best of thanks of the council are due and hereby tendered to Councillor Masood Ahmed for the efficient and dignified manner in which he performed the important and varied duties of the council of Office of Mayor during the period May 22 to May 2023. And also the hearty thanks of the council be tendered to Mrs. Iram Ahmed for the services as mayoress. Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favour? It's carried. Thank you.
The Mayor will now present the retiring Mayor and Mayoress with a past Mayor and Mayoress's badge in recognition of their term of office. These are presented to all mayors as they leave office and can be worn by them on civic occasions.
Can I please call on Councillor Masood Ahmed to reply?
Deputy Lieutenant, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, family and friends. I'd like to offer my best wishes to you, Mr. Mayor, in your year ahead. I hope it's as enjoyable as the one that I've just experienced. My year as mayor has been unprecedented and one full of many firsts. Who would have had believed it? 12 months ago, Huddersfield Town were in the Championship final playoffs. Huddersfield Giants who were at the Challenge Cup final. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be for both of them. But the effort, dedication they displayed, they can be proud of their achievements. This year has been one of those of change, where we celebrated the Platinum Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, her sad passing, and the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III and Her Majesty Queen Camilla. It is unlikely we will see the likes of such historic events, and it is a great honour to be mayor during these historical events, standing on the Huddersfield Town Hall balcony and reading the proclamation to announce a new king. Last time that was done was 70 years ago. My aim at the start of term in office was to meet as many people as possible and visit all the different parts of the borough. Standing here, I can confidently say my expectations were exceeded considerably. I like to think I've created a few firsts as mayor, such as riding the Arabian horse across the fields of thorny leaves, becoming a DJ and doing some mixing on the decks. I might take that as a profession, actually. Playing cricket with the Huddersfield Asian ladies cricket team in the corridor of Huddersfield Town Hall. Jackie's laughing, she doesn't know about that. Who can forget sticking my arm inside Daisy the prosthetic cow? I can confirm Daisy the cow was definitely not pregnant. So I hope I haven't set the bar too high for you next year, Mr. Mayor. There are so many people I'd like to thank. First, the civic team, Deborah, Sally, Carolyn, Mary, Ian, Steve, Kathy, and Graham. I'm sure if you ask them if I've kept them busy and on their toes, they will definitely say yes. I couldn't have asked for a more dedicated and hard-working team, and I've created so many new experiences and fantastic memories for me and the mayors, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to thank the Chief Exec, Jackie Gedman, for her support, and to my Labour Group colleagues in the room and around, and the members of the council as well. As you know, it was a special moment for me to have my father with me in the town hall to watch me become the mayor and the first citizen of Kirklees. Sadly, he passed away shortly after in June and could not celebrate and experience my year as mayor. I wouldn't be the man I am now if it wasn't for him. May Allah have peace on his soul. There was an outpouring of support for many of you here today. I'd like to thank you all for that. I also want to give my special thanks to you, Mr. Mayor, the civic team, and former Mayor, Councillor Gwen Lowe, wherever she is, she's there, and her husband Ken for stepping in to carry out my duties and support you showed during the difficult period in my life. Throughout the year, I met so many wonderful people, businesses, organizations, and I want to give them all my heartfelt thanks for their hospitality towards me and the mayoress. For many of my civic duties, I've had the honour of being accompanied by the West Yorkshire Police Cadet, Oliver Waterhouse. I'd like to thank Oliver, as he has been credit to the force and his family, displaying immaculate professionalism, respect and conduct when he has been with me. I'd like to call Oliver to present him with a small gift. Oliver? I'm just waiting for the gift to arrive by DHL. It's actually behind me. It's like a pantomime. During my year, I've been supporting the Forget Me Not Children's Hospice, which is close to my heart. It has been an honour working with the hospice, and my heartfelt thanks go to Salma. She's up there, I can see her. can't escape me. Gareth, unfortunately, is not here. And George, who I call G, she's there as well. And to members of my charity committee who have supported me through my mayoral year. I'd like to give my final thanks to my lovely daughter, who I call Princess Iram, who has been my mayoress, who was by my side throughout the year. Thank you, Iram. It's been an amazing experience, privilege and honor to be the first citizen of Kirklees. This has been once in a lifetime experience, and I want to thank all the people of Kirklees and everybody who has made it so special. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Could I please now have nominations for Deputy Mayor? Councillor Masood Ahmed.
It is my great pleasure today to be moving the motion proposing Councillor Nosheen Dad as the Deputy Mayor of Kirklees. I've known Councillor Dad and her family who are here all my life. Her three great qualities as an infant was lipstick, high heels, and takeaways, and I think they still are. Once, when she was 4 years old, one of the neighbors came around to visit her mum, leaving her high heels in the hallway of the house, and Councillor Dad decided to wear the heels and go and get some ice cream. Everyone started panicking, not knowing where she was, and then heard the footsteps of high heels coming down the street and a 4-year-old wearing them with lipstick and eating the ice cream. I suppose if you are going out for a takeaway, you need to look your best, Nosh. I've got so many stories, but I'm going to leave them to next year when she becomes mayor, so it's to be continued. Councillor Dad was always an outgoing person with great sense of duty and responsibility. This led to her doing a degree in politics at Huddersfield University. She has the motivation to serve, and I'm so proud I've guided her to become the first Labour Party member and then encouraged her to stand as a councillor. Councillor Dad has represented Dewsbury South constituents with dedication and passion. She will serve the people of Kirklees with the same dedication as Deputy Mayor. I move that Councillor Nosheen Dad is hereby appointed Deputy Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the ensuing municipal year.
Thank you. Could I please call upon Councillor Shabir Pandor to second the nomination?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and once again, congratulations on your election as the first citizen of Kirklees. Deputy Lord Lieutenant Philip Hammond, councillors and honoured guests, I'm really pleased to second Nosheen's nomination after the retiring Mayor, Councillor Masood Ahmed. I can't really add anything, but I have tried to make a few notes and I hope I do it justice. Firstly, Councillor Nosheen Dad was born in Dewsbury South, the area you represent, and she went to Pentland Infant School, which when me and Masood were lads, it was just a field. Now it's a great school. She then went on to Hetfield Junior School, and from there she went to Westborough High School. She did her A-levels in Huddersfield New College and studied at University of Huddersfield, studying BA Politics and Media. But it wasn't just straightforward for Nosheen to be a straightforward student. She went on to become the first female Asian president of the Students' Union, and she also represented the Students' Union on the National Exec Committee, and she also was the Vice President of the Equalities Committee on the Students' Union. So you could see from a very early start, she was there to actually do the best for her fellow students, and then she became a counsellor in 2015. And she didn't just become a counsellor, she actually inspired a complete new generation of young people and young women, Asian women. I've been told that when she stood, when she was going around the schools, young children actually identified with her because they found her to be an inspiration. And I'm sure she will be an inspiration to all of us, not this year, but hopefully next year as well. She loves travelling, and she loves different cultures. She's the youngest of 5 siblings, and her family tell me that from a very young age she's had a caring and a sense of duty. She then came into politics, where I'm sure she saw a different side of people. But I won't go there, it's not the right place. But having said that, now that she's the second citizen of Kirklees, Deputy Mayoress, I'm sure her caring and her passion for communities will shine, and I'm sure she'll do a fantastic job. Her family is very, very important to her. Her number one priority is her young 3-year-old daughter, and she's also due to be expecting this year as well. So I wish everything goes well for Nosheen. Her husband, Shiraz, who is also here, they've known each other for 10 years, and they've been married for 5 years. When I asked Nosheen to become the Deputy Mayor, she says, Shubi, I'm really, really flattered, but let me think about it. And I'm hoping, please say yes. But at the same time, I know that, it's a big commitment. And she rang me a few days after, and she says, Shubi, I'll be honoured to become the Deputy Mayor. And I thought, oh, fantastic. I was really over the moon. Because she's not just going to be the Deputy Mayor, she's going to be the first female Muslim Mayor of Kirklees Council. And that's a massive achievement. That's something I'm really pleased for her and for this council, because this council does actually believe in shattering all the barriers and all the ceilings that we face. So you are definitely shattering ceilings, and you are definitely breaking the barriers. And Shiraz, I'm really pleased as well, talking to you over the last few weeks, that you are also a rock for her. And again, you have shattered ceilings as well. You have broken barriers, because it's going to be a really, really good partnership, not just this year, but also when Nosheen hopefully becomes the Mayor next year. So just for the formal words now, Mr. Mayor, I move that Councillor Nosheen Dad is hereby appointed Deputy Mayor of the Council of the Metropolitan Borough of Kirklees for the ensuing municipal year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour? That's carried. Thank you.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, honoured guests, please remain in your seats whilst the Deputy Mayor dons the robes of office.
Councillor Nosheen Dad will now be invited to make the declaration of office and sign the declaration book.
I, Nosheen Dad, have been appointed to the office of Deputy Mayor for the Council of the Borough of Kirklees, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Council of the Borough of Kirklees.
The Mayor will now place the chain of office on the new Deputy Mayor of Kirklees.
Can I please call upon the Deputy Mayor to respond?
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council and honoured guests, I want to begin with expressing my gratitude to God. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. I want to extend my thanks to my lovely parents, Ami and Abu, who are both here today, for instilling in me a strong sense of social justice, equality and bravery in what are challenging times. Without their support and encouragement, I wouldn't even be halfway to standing where I am today. I am truly honoured and humbled to be stood amongst family, friends and colleagues today as the incoming Deputy Mayor of our great borough of Kirklees. As we women know, especially those serving in public and political life, the glass ceiling is very real and can often feel shatterproof. As for many of us, it is. It's a concrete ceiling rather than glass. When first approached by the leader to take up the office of Deputy Mayor, I had a moment of self-doubt. I thought to myself, is this something I can do? I have a 3-year-old, a very strong-willed and determined 3-year-old, may I add, and I don't know where she gets that from. And as you all know, another one on the way. I soon snapped out of this moment of self-doubt and remembered everything I stood for, everything I was brought up to believe. I can be both a mum with a young family and Deputy Mayor of Kirklees, and I'm going to do this for all the young women and people out there who wish to raise young families and have careers, because both should and can coincide with one another. And why shouldn't they, especially in the 21st century? I want to especially thank my husband Shiraz, who has kindly agreed to be my consort, for all his love and support. No ask is ever too much, and trust me, as his wife, I ask a lot of him. Whether it be personal or part of my political endeavours, he is a brilliant husband and an even better father to our beautiful daughter Meher, and we are very lucky to have him. I stand on the shoulders of giants. Those giants are my siblings. Being the youngest of 5, you can imagine I've had my ear bent by all of them multiple times, but again, without that bending of the ear and the reality check every now and then, I wouldn't be where I am. There are far too many thank yous to include in this speech, and I was told by the Civic Office team to keep it brief this time. So I want to thank all my friends, family, colleagues, both past and present, for all their support. Thank you to the electorate of Dewsbury South for lending me their vote and trusting me to represent them for 3 consecutive terms. But I want to particularly thank Councillor Masood Ahmed for being a second father to me in both my personal and political life. I often refer to him as my eyes and ears. Thank you for always being there. In my term as Deputy Mayor, I really hope to amplify the voices of young people, in particular women, women of colour, mums who wish to have careers, and all those underrepresented minorities across the board. Lastly, both Shiraz and I would like to wish the incoming Mayor and Mayoress our very best wishes, and that we are delighted to be able to support them in their term in office, and are looking forward to meeting as many individuals and organisations who contribute to making Kirklees the great place it is to live, work and raise a young family. Thank you.
The Mayoress will now place the chain of office on the new Deputy Mayor's consort.
Thank you. Moving on to item 3 of the agenda, minutes of the previous meeting. I move that the circulate minutes of the meeting of the Council held on 8th of March 2023 be approved and signed as a correct record.
That motion.
Council will now recess until 2:30 and then continue with its formal business in the Council chamber. Thank you.
Deputy Lieutenant, members of the Council, honoured guests, please be upstanding for the worshipful, the Mayor of Kirklees, Councillor Cahal Burke.